fishing, and outdoor. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Welcome back to the channel.
Hey, welcome back. It is end of July, almost August, and there's a thunderstorm outside, so we're in here rigging on the boat. We thought we'd do a top baits for August. It's gonna look a little different than the last couple months. We're gonna start throwing in, well, we're gonna start going shallow. Those offshore fish have been hammered. One of the last times we went out, we couldn't even hardly get a white bass to bite on the spoon or a little jig head minnow or anything. So, but anyway, those you can still catch those fish, but it's a lot tougher. So we're going to be going shallow a good bit, and we'll still keep a check on those offshore spots. But this is kind of a time of the year where what you call junk fishing starts coming in play. So anyway, we're going to go through our top baits. All right, first category, top water. So we're going to kind of show you what we're going to have tied on for top water. All right, so first thing will be our spooks and our whopper ploppers.
That's right.
You know, in Guntersville, the thing is, if you have eelgrass around, you know, you're gonna have a hard time throwing these. But if you got, you know, some clear water and they're schooling, you can get away throwing these baits. So I'm always gonna have one of these out and ready, mainly because if they're schooling and I can land this right where they're schooling, with all those treble hooks, I'm gonna increase my odds of hooking up. If I'm going shallow and just covering water, top water, I really like
Frogs.
No. I like a buzzbait.
It's a buzzbait.
So you can just go shallow, go beat the bank, and just cover water. I really like this one here. I got this one last year from Big Bite Baits. It's called the Suicide Buzz. But it's, you know, this time of the year, the shad are a lot smaller. And that really looks, you know, it's a little smaller swim bait and looks really natural. But then also, this is another good option too. Put a little Strike King toad on the back of that one there. But a buzz bait, it's about time to start throwing that. And then, you know,
Frogs.
gotta have a frog tied on. I was gonna show you this one. This is a Spro frog that it come out with a year or two ago, but it has these little blades on the back of it. And what that's doing is, you know, it's just causing a little flash and a little more disturbance in the water back there. But I really like this. This is probably one of my favorite frogs. And I this white belly, I actually took a Sharpie with kind of a metallic silver color, and I kind of painted that in a little bit just so it wouldn't be so bright white. Maybe have it a little bit more flash there, but I really like that frog. But yeah, you can probably throw this in some open water scenarios as well. Just have to work it kind of fast. And anyway, yeah, that's one of my favorite frogs, but I already got that one tied on. Show you a few other things we're going to do for top water. You know, Ethan's going to have a hard time. Well, a few things. He can't throw a bait caster yet. We're working on him.
We can put it on a spinning reel.
He's learning. But on a frog, you obviously need a heavy action rod and braided line. So here is what we're probably going to set up for Ethan, in addition to, you know, when they're schooling, having his whopper plopper. So this little setup here, this is a 3.8 inch Kitech swim bait. And I just have it rigged on a 3/0 owner swim bait hook. No weight, completely weightless. And you can actually throw this thing and just work it, you know. Obviously, I mean, if you really slowed down, it's going to go down. But if you worked at a steady pace, that thing's going to stay up. And, you know, you could do this or put a fluke on. We're going to try this and see how it works. I think with that paddle tail, it's going to cause a little more commotion back there.
Yep.
We're going to try all this. We're going to see how this works. But there's some other options. Like I said, you could do a fluke. There's another rig called the double fluke rig, I think. Is that what it's called, Ethan? A double fluke rig?
Let's assume.
Leave us a comment. And I think Andrew Nordby did a video a few years ago.
And also this
showing like a double fluke rig. It's called something else. I can't really remember what it's called. But anyway, so we're going to have that set up as well. Because let's just be real, there's so much eelgrass on Guntersville. A bunch of little bass were schooling the other day, and you know, we were trying to throw spooks in there, but you just bring back a wad of eelgrass every time. And this right here, you can work over the top, and you don't have to worry about it getting, you know, filed up in the eelgrass. But obviously, if you can get away throwing the treble hook baits, you increase your odds of hooking up. But I'm hoping this smaller, this 3.8, that'll allow them to, you know, completely get it. And then you know, I didn't even expose the hook. I just kind of leave it where it's just kind of pulled down like that. So hopefully they can get hooked up. All right, so we talked about top water. Now let's talk about covering that, say, 10 to 4 or 5 foot range. So there's gonna be some moving baits we're gonna look at throwing. And first of all, let me say this. If I scan a eelgrass line, outside kind of edge line, and I see a bunch of fish and I mark them, first thing I'm probably going to do is turn around and go back on them. I'm going to throw at those fish, specifically with my live scope, with a drop shot. And we talked about that in last month's video, set up for a drop shot. And it's still the same here. I won't go into details on that. You can look back at last month's video. But that VMC Redline Finesse Nico hook, it's a size 1. And then I got, this is a 1/4 ounce, kind of that cylinder type weight, and it just comes through the grass really well. That's my favorite setup for if I'm targeting those specific bass that are outside those eelgrass lines. I can throw it and land it right on their head and hopefully get bit. But that's gonna be my first choice for covering or for trying to catch those fish. Now if I'm up there and I'm just covering water, then we're going to have some moving baits in our hand. And the first one we're going to talk about is a swim jig.
Sure.
So these two right here are my favorite. I think I talked about them briefly in one of the other month's video. It's the Dirty Jigs compact swim jig. I got a 3.8-inch Kitech on the back of both of them. This one is like a bluegill color, and this one's a little more shady looking. That one, even still with this Tennessee shad Kitech on there, still could pass for a shad. But anyway, those two right there are going to be a good option for moving and covering water. Get a little chop on the water, then probably going to put on a chatterbait. Especially this one, like this one here. If it's sunny, got a little chop on the water. I got a Crush City freeloader and gizzard shad on the back of it. That's probably my favorite setup for that. But you know, fish your conditions. You know, here's a few other 1/2 ounce that I really like. This is bruised green pumpkin, I think is what it's called. And then this is like a bluegill type color here. But those are some good options. Also, this little rig right here,
underspin.
yeah, a little underspin. Now I'm not saying you're gonna catch a 6-pounder but this little thing gets bit, especially if you're struggling and just trying to get bites. Man, I have worn them out this time of the year on this little setup here. And instead of putting like a 2.8 inch or a 3.3 inch Kitech on the back, I got a little 3-inch spunk shad on the back of it. So this little straight tail, the boot tail on the Kitech is going to want to make that bait stay up. So by using this, still the blade's going to make it want to rise too, but I feel like this helps keep it down a little bit better. And actually what I'm throwing this on is my jerkbait setup. I got it on 12-pound line, and I just kind of leave that hook, like I said, not where it's, if it gets really, heavier vegetation, you can expose it, but I just kind of have it setting like that. But try that. That's a good option. The bait's smaller this time of the year as well, and you can sling this around and it's going to get bit as well. There you go. Perfect.
Good job, buddy. Eat it back. Did you get it? Woo! Ethan got one, Amy.
Yes.
Oh, what is that?
Nice, buddy.
Hey, smile.
Saltwater largemouth coming on the Zip Code 202.
Another option is a lipless crankbait. And this is actually my deep crank setup here. I got 12-pound Invisex on here. And like I said, this is my 7-11 parabolic deep crankbait rod. I don't have a different setup. I guess what I'm trying to say is I don't have a bunch of different setups for every technique. So some of them you have to just use interchangeably. So if I roll up on one of those offshore spots and it's just loaded, and hey, I want to fish it, then all I gotta do is tie on my DT20. And that's still gonna be an option this time of the year. I have, actually last August, I had fished some schooling fish that morning, just kind of chasing them around. And anyway, checked one of the offshore spots and it was loaded. And first 3 casts, I caught bass. But the thing is, they caught them real quick and then they turned off. But DT20, more natural colors, burning it. You want to get a reaction bite. There you go. Still catch them out deep, but I wouldn't spend all day out there. This is a lipless crankbait, and you can go up in that shallow grass, and I really like this as a Yozuri rattling vibe. I have caught a ton on this little setup right here. All right, so lipless crankbait, tie one of those back on, go up shallow, and rip that out of the grass, and you'll get some bites as well. This is kind of talking about those bass that are on those deeper eelgrass edges. So I said the first thing I would do would be throw a drop shot at them. Well, this is another good option. All right, so another good option for fishing those outer eelgrass edges is a jig and stroking a jig. This is the Gerald Swindle Buckeye Ballin' Out jig, half ounce. I got a Crush City cleanup crawl on the back of it. But you can throw this out there, and this is kind of like covering that, you know, anywhere from 15 to 10 foot kind of range. Ripping this out of the grass, getting a reaction bite. All right, so I got this on 15-pound fluorocarbon, and this is actually a 7'3" medium heavy. Probably should put it on a heavy action, but I'm gonna try it on this medium heavy. It's actually got a pretty stiff tip, but I'm gonna give this a try and see how it works. All right, so next setup, next kind of bait, we're going to talk a little bit about punching grass mats and little open areas in the grass. I'll just be honest with you, this is not something I do a lot of, but this is the time of the year to start doing it, you know, August, September, into October. All right, so this is my setup here. Extra 7'6", extra heavy. I mean, that thing it's got a little bit of tip. You can see up there, Ethan. But boy, it doesn't have much. I mean, it's not a broomstick, but boy, it's close to it. But 7'6", extra heavy, 50-pound braided line. Now look, here's the thing. Now I have a 4/0 straight shank hook on here and a 1 ounce tungsten weight on here. The missile baits, D-bombs, probably the main thing that I throw just because I got a bunch of them. I'll be honest with you, I think you're getting a reaction bite. I don't think that it matters a lot. I think the biggest thing with this setup is you want a bait, like a beaver style bait that's streamlined. And the good thing about this D-bomb, there's these, you know, no outer appendages, which if you had some others, you could just pinch them all, but it goes in that grass and then comes out really smooth. This one I think is called Bruiser Flash, but that's a good one. And then, you know, any kind of green pumpkin could be good as well, but I actually like the darker colors. Let me just say this real quick. This 1 ounce here, if I will throw the lightest weight I can get away with. If I need a heavier weight to get down, if the vegetation's that thick, then obviously I'll go up. But I try to go with the lightest that I can, because the thing is, the heavier and bigger this weight is, whenever you set the hook, you have a greater chance of blowing it out of their mouth. So I'm starting with a 1 ounce on this, and if, like I said, if it's not getting down in there, then I'll go up, but I'm going to start with a 1 ounce. All right, the other option here, let's say that you're up shallow, and instead of punching that heavy stuff, you're kind of seeing these little open holes in the grass. Well, you may not need a 1 ounce weight to pitch into those areas. You can go a little lighter. So this is a 1/2 ounce bullet weight, a 5/0 EWG hook, and I got this on a 7'6" heavy action rod and 17-pound fluorocarbon. With it being, you know, more of an open area, I opted for fluorocarbon instead of the braid. And with this, you could put whatever you want on there. I like to throw the Zoom speed worm. It kind of goes in there and comes out, but I mean, you could get away throwing a crawl or a beaver. You could throw whatever you wanted, but I like that that Zoom speed worm on this particular setup. All right, so one last thing. That's kind of our August baits. We covered, you know, what we would do out deep, top water, shallower moving baits, and then our punching setup, and also our frogging kind of setup there. But another thing we're going to do is we're gonna be looking for brush piles, and we're going to start thinking
About crappie.
about that too. Hey, we don't discriminate around here. We like to bass fish, but I like to just catch fish too. And the fall on Guntersville can be really good for crappie fishing.
Yeah,
we're gonna try to do a little bit more of that this year. And hey, full disclosure, we're learning. So all of this stuff, we're learning. We've learned a lot over the last few years, but boy, we're still learning. And if you guys have a different opinion on something, man, leave us a comment, because we're up to we're open to trying different things, and we're wanting to learn as well.
I think we're gonna load the freezer up with crappie.
I'm not opposed to doing that. That
Yeah,
would be a lot of fun.
load the freezer
But,
up with crappie. Ooh, that was fun.
But anyway, yeah, so that's going to be kind of our August baits. To wrap up this video, we are going to do
A Crush City giveaway.
Crush City giveaway. That's right. All right, Ethan, I'll tell you what, I'll swap with you. I'll let you hold an our video, and you can talk about each one there.
Welcome to the Ultimate Crush City giveaway review.
All right, show me what you got.
So this is a Crush City 3-inch Mayer Tennessee shad.
It's a good color. We've caught quite a few on that. And the good thing with that little 3-inch this time of the year, the bait is smaller. That is a good option for you guys. All right, show us the next one, Ethan.
This is a Crush City Ned bait, and this is a Morning Dawn color.
Yep, that is the Crush City Ned BLT. That's a good one. That's going to be one of them that we're going to give away.
Yep. Next bait, Crush City Freeloader. This is a Sight Flash color,
Get a little
and
bit.
it is a 4-inch freeloader.
Yeah, so this one, if you get a little bit more stained water, that would be a good option for you. All right, show us the next one. That's the Gizzard Shad.
Gizzard Shad Crush City Freeloader 4-inch. Dad uses this one a lot.
Yeah, so this is probably my favorite color, and it's the one that Jacob Wheeler won Guntersville on last year. So anyway, we're going to throw that one in the giveaway pack as well. And last but not least,
Red Crawl Bronco Bug.
yep. So this, yeah, that Bronco Bug is a really cool bait for just kind of pitching and flipping around as well. But that one, that's going to be a good kind of early year. That's that kind of red crawl, fire crawl kind of color.
Yeah.
So we're going to throw that one in the giveaway pack as well. So Ethan, tell them what they need to do to potentially win this giveaway pack here.
Like, comment, share to social media, and subscribe. And if you're already subscribed, you can just like, comment, and share to social media.
That's right. So yeah, so we're gonna give away some baits. We're trying to grow the channel a little bit, and we got some cool things planned for the fall. All right, so yeah, we got some cool things planned for the fall. We'll be out on Guntersville a good bit, but Ethan and I are gonna do some kayak fishing, and we're gonna try to do some crappie fishing as well out on Lake Guntersville. And then I have a trip to Kansas in November. And we're going to try to document that deer hunt. I have never got one of my bucks on camera that I shot videoed it while I'm taking it. So we're going to try to do that this year. My brother's going with me as well. But I'll be out in Kansas first week in November, so it'll be right during prime time.
And I may actually, I'm going to try to go.
We'll see. He went with me a few years ago, and then he and Mom flew back. We may look into that. We'll have to see. So yeah, we got a lot of cool things planned for the end of the year. So you guys stay with us, keep up with us on the channel,
and don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe.